How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today we're taking a look at the brand new maps on World of Tanks console and kind of what I think of them. Do I think they're any good? And I really wanted to find out your opinion on them. If you want to see any more World of Tanks console content, then definitely subscribe to the channel down below, and we'll get right into this. So first things first, I'm playing in the T28. This is the tier 8 TD. Yeah, it's not particularly amazing, and you certainly won't be having the best games in this thing, but I kind of wanted to highlight some positions that are kind of really useful on the map, and also kind of discuss what I think about the map. First one is obviously vineyards, and then the second one is highway, so you'll be able to see both maps in detail, and I'll kind of give some positions which I think are really crucial. I know highway a lot more because it was previously in the game. This map, I feel like I'm pretty confident in being able to choose the positions that I take. I haven't actually gone into the town at all since I've been playing mediums, light tanks and tank destroyers, which are best suited to this kind of open area up here. Not a lot of people go up here, I find recently, and that's kind of a bit of a negative, since you can get shot in the side from this position when you're in the town. So the town is kind of quite an open position, although it is, you can use cover in there. You can get hit in the side by people that are in places like this. Similarly, if you don't have any vision over here in terms of a light tank or someone else to be able to spot for you, it can be kind of bad as well. Now, I've luckily got a light tank in this game, which is really good. He's on my platoon, so we're able to actually use his vision to be able to move around the map and kind of know what's up ahead. This map kind of centres around winning this top half of the map, and then progressing around to take out anyone that's kind of won the city. Doesn't always work out, but it's definitely the route I like to take. I mean, even if I'm in heavy, I'd probably come this way anyway. I don't particularly like being in the town where you're kind of just side scraping against other heavies and stuff like that, although that can be really useful for some people. Now, there is one thing I'd like to note, is obviously if people are camping in their base, it can be a bit of an issue, because you know, it's got the high ground and there's not a lot of cover where you can get behind. I mean, you see this rock in front of me here from attacking. You can use that. Here you see us spotting a AFK 705, but he's just come back, and we're just aiming for that lower plate. Now, the map tends to go in terms of whoever wins the top wins the game, but sometimes the city just gets absolutely annihilated if not enough people have come into the hilly area over to the left, or to the top of the map even. So yeah, I found we've kind of come to a bit of a stalemate here. We can't really advance well any further, really, to be honest with you. And we're just putting pressure on the people that get spotted in their base from the town. Now, where would I recommend usually going? Obviously, I've mentioned us going up to the top of the map and moving around and doing that sort of jazz, but it doesn't often stop here, and you find yourself probably in A5, A6, defending or attacking depending on which side you are on. But that's where I really focus. You can use B1 as kind of a hill to be able to defend from, and kind of put some cover in between you if you can't make it to A5 fast enough. And then from the other side you can also use A8 or B8, you know, that kind of town area up there, for when you're playing mediums. Wouldn't reckon going into the town if you're a medium. I think you're far more versatile and able to use the positions better if you actually go into the top and use that, and kind of use your speed and stuff like that, which is quite easy to do on this map since it is so open and kind of a really nice map to get vision and stuff like that. Concealment is quite important on this map, especially because you know, you've got a lot of open area, but it's also fairly well bushed, and also you've got the fact that, you know, you'll be able to get into positions where the opponents won't be able to spot you, and since the map is fairly small, considering, you are going to get spotted fairly easily if you're in a big tank like a heavy, so maybe staying in the town isn't such a bad idea. I've had a few games on this map. I didn't release this video too soon because I didn't play the map enough to begin with. I've played it quite a few times now, and we're kind of using that to be able to give a better opinion, at least I hope, on what I think of the map so far. So the game's not going too badly. We've picked up a little bit of damage for a fairly slow trundling tier 8 heavy, tier 8 tank destroyer. And you see we're picking apart this Conway, but we do get spotted. I make a bit of a mistake here, just continuing to go up, and we get hit by what I believe was a Waffle Panzer IV to my left. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that, to be honest, because a lot of TDs tend to camp in the base, which is not a thing that I'd recommend on this mode. I'd rather get into a position further up, because if you win the game, you're not going to do anything from being in the base. I mean, yeah, in a situation like this where, you know, if I get spotted, I can get hit. But yeah, it's very unlikely that you're going to have really good games or even decent games from just sitting there. We try and auto in the Conway there. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually hit him. That would have been really good to hit him, because we would have been able to actually shut him down. But unfortunately, this is about where the game ends for me. We might get one more shot off before I get taken out, and we do there. But this is pretty much it, and we're not likely to get any more. So yeah, what do I think then? I think the map's definitely really good. It's one of the best maps I've seen in a long time, and yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. I think there's some positions where you want to be going, obviously in the town and moving around using this hill area. If you're a medium, a light tank, or a tank destroyer that's got fairly decent mobility. I mean, even me in a T28, which is fairly slow, one of the slowest in the game, can use this area to push up and put pressure on the opponents. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of little review of the map. Definitely a good one, and definitely got a little bit for everyone. It's one of my favourites that I've seen recently, and yeah, I've enjoyed it quite a lot. So we'll move on to a vineyard, onto highway now. And now we are on highway. As you can see on screen, it's fairly decent. One of my favourite maps that's come out recently, definitely a really good one. I've enjoyed both of these maps that actually came out. I'd like to see what kind of things that you thought about them. I found that this map, however, has been played so poorly since its release. You know, I had a game where the enemy team capped within like a minute and 50 seconds when it was in counter. The max XP in the game was 380, and you know, yeah, again, a thing of where people just cap. My team went all over to the hill when their team just went in the cap, and it was just absolutely terrible. Yeah, never worth really capping that early on. I mean, it's not really worth capping very often in this game, to be honest, since you do just get that less XP, because, you know, when 25 out of the 30 tanks that are in the game are still alive, yeah, you're not likely to do that well. But you can see, as a tank destroyer or a medium or a light tank, you might want to come up to this area, but it really depends on your team deployment. That's one thing that people should really note when you come into positions like this. It really does depend on your team deployment. What is it looking like? If barely anyone's come over here, you're not going to want to come over here in a really slow heavy, because you just aren't going to be able to retreat. But yeah, so what I find is people don't push the town enough when they're in heavies. If you're in a heavy tank, you do not want to be sat camping up here. It's one of the worst places you can go. You've got terrible concealment. There's not that many bushes over here. Yeah, you're not really going to be doing very much. You never want to go into the open field, since it's just a death trap. Yeah, it's not, definitely not something you want to be doing anytime soon. You'll see this King Tiger's gone down, don't know what he's doing. Also, if you're on the enemy team, you definitely don't want to be sat there in heavy either, since you do just get spotted, and you can see what happens to this Concept 1B as soon as you get spotted. Similarly to the 50 TP as well. Yeah, it's not a good place for you to take your tank. Now, what else can you kind of think about on this map? Obviously, if you move down through this through the town, you can get a bit of a pincer maneuver going on, so long as your team win this flank as well. what I find a lot of people do is they move down too quickly through the centre of the map, which is not a good idea, since a lot of people will just camp on the railway tracks in like D9, where you see that tank destroyer is spotted in their base, and they can get shots on anyone that kind of goes through that field. It's hard to spot them. They're pretty well covered, especially if they've got gun depression, and yeah, it's not a position you want to be going in. But definitely if you're in a heavy, you need to be going into K9, K0, defending that town, because if you don't, you just get ambushed from both sides and you do nothing on this hill. What happens is the enemy team push up this hill to like K3, they spot you, who are going to be in like D, E, F area, and then you get lit up by every single person on the enemy team that kind of moves from their spawn down into the middle and just get shots on you from multiple angles, and there's not enough cover. So you definitely need to focus on getting the town. You also need to focus on defending this kind of hill area in C1 if you're a medium or a light tank or something that has a bit of mobility. You probably don't want to be going in really big heavy tanks. But also, if you do see that you've lost the town, you want to be moving into a position like this where you're surrounded by bushes and you can kind of cover your team as the enemy team advances through that open field. You'll see here I actually end up helping our teammate out here and not getting spotted using my concealment and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really important to be able to do well on this game, just by putting yourself in the right position. You're having a bit of situational awareness, and this map is definitely one of those. If you really do need to look to see if you're in an encounter battle, because people for some reason become blind when it's encounter battle, and you're going to lose and you're not going to do anything. You're going to get terrible XP, you're not going to get any progression towards where you're hoping to be, and yeah, it's just not going to be a good game for you. You know, even if you die trying to get towards the cap circle, it's better than literally doing nothing, where you just let them cap. A lot of people need to realise that if you actually go in and you deal damage, or even track someone, or just hit their tracks, deal any critical damage to an opponent in the cap, it will reset the cap. So it doesn't matter whether you actually damage them, just aim for the track basically when you go towards the cap circle, because that will reset them. And then also what people need to realise is if someone is in the cap, if you've tracked someone, then you don't want to hit them again if there's multiple people in the cap circle, because you need to be aiming at the others in the cap as well to reset their points, because it's kind of a point system. If there's 2 people in a cap, they get into like 90 points. Both of them will have 45 points each. So if you damage one of them, it will reset their points, so they'll be halfway to completing it again overall. And then if you hit the other, it will reset them back to 0, so they'll have to get those points back up again. So you can continuously reset the cap by alternating who you're taking out, or at least dealing damage to. So yeah, it wasn't a bad game for me in the T28 considering, but yeah, I do like the map. It's definitely one of the better ones in the game, and I would really implore you to understand what the battle is and also where the key positions are. Don't go through the middle, don't be sitting camping in the middle of the map, because it's really terrible and you get lit up by the enemy team and that's it, your game is over. You want to be using those positions, the hilly areas. You saw where I went in, use that bush at the beginning of the game, and also if you're a heavy tank, definitely go into the town, because that's a real crucial point. And yeah, you'll often lose games if you don't commit to the town. It's kind of really the key turning point in the game. Definitely not just camping in your spawn is not the good way to go, because you'll just lose, and no one really wants to lose overall, or at least lose more than they win. So yeah, that's a key point for me. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. It's kind of just going over these new maps, and I really wanted to find out what your guys' opinion are on them. What do you think? Has this kind of helped you at all? Because I kind of wanted to just highlight some places on the map where you need to be going or using it to do better. But I did want you guys to give me some feedback, so definitely do that in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Other than that, I think that's everything for today's video. I will try and get out another one tomorrow. The winners of the giveaway should be announced within the next couple of days. It is closed now, so you can't do that anymore. but I will hopefully get another one out whenever I reach 3,000 subscribers, so stay tuned for that, hopefully. Other than that, that is the video over and done with. If you want to check out the news video that I did yesterday and some other videos on the channel, I've got a few gameplay ones, so if you're into that sort of thing, then definitely check out my channel and actually view some videos on there. If not, then the news could be for you as well, so that should be on screen right now. If not, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.